Blended Podcasts. Brought to you by Blended Audio.
Once upon a time, there was a podcast. It was really cool. You should listen to it. It was called... Dun, dun, dun. Am I dragging this out too long?
What was it called, Nate?
What?
Are you going to get it right this week?
No,
Nate?
no. Wait. SoundVaaibs. Welcome to SoundVaaibs, everybody. I'm NATE, Mr. Nate, and I'm joined with Patty McD.
Patty McD.
All
right, guys. So last episode, we were talking about songwriting basics, groove, melody, and progression. And we kind of, at that time, amplified the whole point that, at the end of the day, to have a compelling song, you need a deep musical hook. And I think...
No, you don't. You just need to be good. Sorry, bye. Okay, end of episode. Done.
Okay, cheers, everyone. Yeah, so, I think that is something which I've noticed in the, let's call it the fledgling band scene.
The fledgling band scene?
Yeah,
bands, small bands.
Yeah, bands who are getting going.
So kids, high schools, or people in their middle age.
Or sometimes people in their middle age. I don't know, it depends how long they've been doing this stuff.
I know some people in their middle age only starting out now.
Yeah, exactly. And I think, look, the older we are, one can assume that we have a bit more wisdom. We hope. We pray.
Yeah.
Or let's put it this way: one can assume that we have a stronger grasp on the concept.
He looks at me like we pray.
Yeah. Well, like we've said before, we are not experts.
No, not at all.
But we are on our path to becoming experts.
And
yes. We're hoping that you're on that path with us.
Join
and that
us.
You're feeling slightly more expert yourself already.
Join us.
So basically, songwriting basics, we were talking about what is the musical hook.
Yes.
So our main focus for this whole episode is going to be all around the hook. That's the thing that gets you into a song and effectively makes your song memorable. And today we're going to talk about harnessing the melody and lyric to create that hook.
Wasn't this the thing I told you I knew absolutely nothing about last week?
Yeah, but you're going to know more about it by the end of this week.
Yeah, but now who's going to teach me? Are you teaching me?
I'm going to try.
You're going to try and teach me?
And you might find yourself surprised. You'll teach yourself, but because as we unlock this topic through conversation, you'll probably realize, oh, but I know an example of this or that or the other.
Oh, yeah, that's true. I wrote a song called Unlock the Unknown once.
Oh, for real?
For real. And it had absolutely nothing to do with this. Moving on.
Yeah. All right, well
no, I felt when I was still doing songwriting before I was even in a band, a lot of my lyrics, because I never wrote music. I always wrote poems and stories and lyrics, and I never had a talent to put the music to it.
Yeah.
So I would just write lyrics the whole time, and then perform what I would like to be music in my head, but I could never physically produce it.
Yeah.
So I would always look for band members that were really good at that to help me, because it was tough. And I found that putting the two together became quite a task if you don't have both those skill sets together. It becomes very difficult if you have just one or the other.
Yeah.
So today I'm here to learn not how to produce music, because that's what schools are for, I suppose. But I want to learn more about how I can create a hook lyrically and create a lyric that's almost universal in language. So it doesn't really matter how you put it together with music. It will still maintain its what's the word I'm looking for? Efficiency, power.
Power, yeah.
It would maintain its power with just that line, like a powerful line. One that comes to mind is whoever appeals against his law, against his fellow man, or something. That Omerta, that Lamb of God, that Lamb of God.
Yes.
Whoever cannot take care of himself without that law is both. That line, when I first heard that, I was like, damn, this is good. And he did that a cappella. He did that without music.
Yeah.
Now, I found as a lyricist, if I could write something like that a cappella, then it wouldn't really make a huge difference what musical melody or rhythm or groove you put with that. It would still be very strong on its own. However, if you find someone that can write this powerful, crazy, just even something simple, like two chords, and you put them together, and now it's even more powerful.
Yeah.
That's
Well, I think the point of a hook, you've just said the magic word, simple.
Yes.
Less is more. A hook is where, or at least in my opinion, my experience is a hook is that moment in the song where you took the less is more approach. But because, like, let's kind of get into the philosophy of that a little bit. Like, what does that mean? What am I actually saying when I say less is more? So in music, or a lot of music which we hear on the radio, okay, now, all right, we're not exactly fans of pop music per se, but that's not to say that all pop music is bad. We just find it a bit boring because it's so formulated. But what makes a lot of pop music successful is the fact that they've taken the less is more approach to a lot of the music that's being created. And I've sometimes found that in a lot of more niche genre music, the reason they're niche is almost because guys are like overdoing. It's like they're overcompensating for their musical prowess, if you know what I'm saying.
Yeah, I get you.
It's like a lot of the music goes over the heads of the listener. And we were talking in a previous episode about jazz, for example, and jazz is not everybody's cup of tea.
Of course not.
I think a lot of people find it just like overwhelming. Like I know I do, but it doesn't mean it's poor music. I mean, it's some of the most technically celebrated music created.
A lot of people I know have told me that they love all sorts of music. They love all music.
Until you mention metal.
No. Until you no. Until you mention jazz.
Oh boy.
Yeah, I've had people come to me like, I just can't deal with jazz or classical. I'm like, but those are the roots,
Yeah.
A lot of genres have taken, lessons from jazz and classical music.
Well, I think jazz and classical, those are both forms of music that pushed at the boundaries of the concept of music.
Yes.
And jazz is probably just a more modern version of the classical endeavor of pushing those boundaries. And, like I think in metal, we see a lot of that as well, constantly pushing at the boundaries of like what is called musically acceptable. But therein, sometimes I feel lays the failure of understanding for the artist to create a musical hook. So a lot of, all right, I'm always defaulting back to metal, for which I apologize, but it's obviously what I'm more...
It's what you experienced.
Yeah. This is also why I say often like fledgling bands, young music creators who need not be metal, any genre of music, they often lack the ability, or no, I won't say they lack the ability, they lack the comprehension of how to create a musical hook. And I think this is where sometimes having a lot of musical ability, having a lot of technical ability obviously stands to your credit if you deploy it wisely.
Yes.
But a lot of people say, but I can do this, I can do sweeps, and I can do arpeggios, and I can do this and that and the other. I'm going to cram as much of that as possible into my music to demonstrate my prowess, that sometimes it just goes over the listener's head when all they really wanted was that little simple part that just sinks its claws into their very soul and rides with them for, the rest of their lives if it's that powerful a hook.
Yes.
But a hook in music usually is best done stripped down.
Now, how do you take technical music, any genre, technical music that has all these complexities in, and how do you add a hook to that? You strip it all to its nothing. You strip it till it's bare, till it's naked in the rain.
Yeah.
And you have one thing, one chord progression, one line, one lyric, one melodic piece that will just grab you and hold you.
Yeah.
Like cradle you, and make you feel a certain way.
Yeah.
And you do that and all of a sudden your song just went from being a amalgamation of your creative prowess to a song that actually now has this power in it that can take over you, that can grab you and pull you out of your seat.
Or let me check you there. Creative prowess, I rather want to say a culmination of your technical prowess.
Fair enough.
Because, that's what we see a lot of artists doing. They're reaching too deep into what they can do.
Their bag of tricks is this deep, and I must show you how deep my bag of tricks goes.
Yes, exactly. Whereas creative prowess is to actually know when to put the tricks aside.
Yes.
And just focus on the fundamental.
When to focus on fundamentals and when to actually bring out your bag of tricks.
Yeah. So which part of a song is the hook? Now, in many cases, to be the chorus. Why is a chorus usually such a memorable and sticky part of a song to people's memory? And it's usually because in most styles of music we listen to, a chorus is the part where, as the name of the musical passage suggests, people feel compelled to sing along.
True.
So when we're talking about a chorus, and lyrically and melodically, we're talking about something which is very simple, easy access. Almost anyone can do it. In other words, we've adopted the less is more approach by stripping away our technical prowess and leaving behind something very simple that almost anyone can do. We've invited them into the song to participate with us. And that's the part which they're going to find the most memorable and likely to participate in the most. So, if one breaks a chorus down, what do we have? We have something that is lyrically usually very concise. It's like the lyrics are easy to understand. What is the message that is being portrayed?
Yeah.
I mean, you were mentioning Lamb of God.
Omerta.
And some lyrics. Like if I think of Lamb of God, there's one hook where it's like, now you've got something to die for.
Yeah.
And it's like, that's such a powerful concept. And it's a lyrical concept. And it's simple because we've all at some point in our life, latched onto that question or just that concept, like, do we believe in something strongly enough to die for it?
Yeah.
It's quite a grand theme. And here it's been wrapped up into such a simple, accessible lyrical theme. And it's like, everyone wants to sing along with it. Everyone knows it. But it's like, just a few simple words. But the other side of that hook, where we marry the lyrics with the music, is it's got a certain groove to it. How he executes that line. It's not just like, oh, Nate, now we've got something to die for.
Oh, yay, thanks. Cool, I'll see you later, buddy.
It's like he marries the lyric to the groove.
Yes. But there is a melodic piece in there as well.
Yeah. But in this particular example, like I think it's more about the groove. Whereas
Oh wait, that's Omerta. See, I'm just Omerta on the
got your
brain.
wires crossed.
Completely. Okay. I remember that. It makes a lot of sense what you're saying.
Yeah. Then I'm going to sort of borrow back to another example I used in a previous episode. I was talking about the band Sabaton.
Yes, I remember that.
And I mean, these guys are like hook masters. Like every single song has all these essential components. Like, long story short, they're just damn good songwriters, like regardless of the genre of music. And I think they're a very fine example of melodic hooks. So those who know the band, they're a metal band, but they don't really use growling much, like the guy sings.
They're more accessible to a broader audience because their style is less niche.
Yeah. But I think what makes it less niche is that they're employing strongly the fundamentals of songwriting, and in particular, creating hooks. And they call it a hook because once you're hooked, it's hook, line, and sinker.
Exactly. Literally, it's not hook in the ocean. It's like hook in your mouth, just like...
Yes. It's gotcha.
It's gotcha, and it's reeling you in, and every time you're going to get reeled in with it.
Yeah. So, I mean, you can put on pretty much any song from Sabaton, hop on YouTube and just say Sabaton, and like whatever comes up, you're going to get a fantastic example of a melodic vocal hook. So where we use the Lamb of God example, it's like, it's more groove orientated.
Yeah.
You sing almost like more of a sort of monotone, or you can shout it. Long story short, you don't have to be a vocalist to get into that. Whereas with Sabaton, as an example, it's like if you have a pitch, like a musical pitch, or should I say an ear for pitch, then like you want to sing along with Sabaton because it's melodic. So you follow the melody line with your voice, and it's just like it's exhilarating to do that. And I suppose maybe even a better example is like whenever, what's that song? Bohemian Rhapsody from Queen.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Everyone's singing along to Bohemian Rhapsody.
Yeah. But that whole damn song is a bloody hook.
Yeah, but Queen are on another level.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
But it's very much melodically inclined, but it's simple. It's easily accessible. When a song... Like, I hear a lot of music from young bands where a verse and a chorus are often can't be told apart.
In a lot of progressive bands, where the structure is very different. Not your stereotypical cookie cutter, cut and paste song structure, where progressive bands usually find their own structure in some way, shape, or form. And you'll find that you don't know where the chorus is. However, they'll surprise you with the hook being one singular entity in the middle of the song. And what I've found personally is that in a lot of prog songs, I search for that.
Yeah.
I wait for it, and I'm like, there it is. And then you feel nice again. You feel cuddly, because it's still a hook. It may not be repeating itself, but you still wait for it, and you wait for it. And when you get to it, you feel a certain way. And when you feel that, yes. And then that's when I've felt now in my head that this song is not a favorite. It's a successful song in my mind because I felt that hook.
Yeah.
Whereas traditional bands that have a very cut and paste structure, let's call it the traditional structure of, verse, chorus, wada. The chorus is, it was essentially meant to have the hook in it. However, there are some bands that follow the traditional structure that have actually got their hooks in their verses. It's not necessarily in the chorus. Sometimes the chorus is just like a break from the hook. An interesting song, and yes, we will make metal references till we go blue in the face because that's all we know because we're terrible. But Resurrection Boulevard from Devil Driver. Their whole song is based off a sweep. Just one guitar sweep, and it just changes it just goes up and down the fretboard, but it's the same sweep the whole time, and that's the majority of the song.
Yes.
But then when they stray away from that, it's like, oh wait, that's what I was looking for.
Yeah.
But you would think that it's almost like an inverted puzzle.
Yes.
Like that sweep thing should be a hook somewhere, but it's actually the whole song, and the hook is actually just the simplified bare bones do nothing.
Yeah.
Like just the groove of it.
Yeah.
And I find that each structure has a different way of implementing.
Yes, absolutely.
No hooks are the same.
Yeah.
Every hook has individuality about it.
Or no hooks have to be the same. Because
exactly,
sometimes you do find in music, like, it does become very formulated, which is fine, as long as it works.
Yes.
But but they don't have to be the same. And I think hearing your you've unpacked this very differently to how I've unpacked it, and it's triggered thoughts in my mind where it's like, damn, boy, you're onto something. And I think of one band which I really do enjoy listening to a lot. It's called My Dying Bride.
Oh, yeah.
And they have long songs. So when a song is very long, it's like, how are you going to create the hook? And I think what I've identified in their music is they play this long song where you get a lot of that almost like repetitive, almost monotonous. But it's like, if you're listening to that kind of music, you're obviously in the mood for it.
Yeah.
But that doesn't mean that the music shouldn't have a hook as well. And their approach to creating a hook is they will create a passage of music within this long epic song, which is only visited once.
Okay.
and it's addictive. So it's kind of like, it's kind of like a drug in like that way. The hook is that part that once you've heard it, you feel that satisfaction.
Yes.
That you've had your fix. Like it's almost like a relief that you've heard that part.
Like it's triggering some sort of dopamine release in your brain.
Exactly. And like when you put a song on to play it, because yes, you obviously like the whole song, but there's a specific thing in that song which is going to release that sensation of like, there it is.
So now
that's the hook.
Designing that around your songwriting is a very intricate process that should not be rushed.
And certainly not ignored.
Yeah. If you ignore a hook, your song becomes...
It's lifeless.
Exactly. It becomes the same as any other track on that record that has followed your similar formula where you haven't actually created a proper hook.
Yeah.
And a lot of metal purists and a lot of rock purists or whichever genre purist you are, I know quite a few people that say to me that they don't need it. They don't need it because they want to be different and they want to do this and that. But I think, and I stand corrected on this. And
like you need wheels on your car for the thing to drive forward.
Exactly. But some people feel that a hook is just part of a formula that is, dare I say, cliched, and then they tend to stray away from it for fear of becoming the same and falling into a similar pattern. But it's those people that don't actually understand the concept of a hook.
But don't you find a lot of these people are the same ones who say, no one really likes this genre of music. Why support so poor, blah, blah, blah.
Exactly.
It's like, well, it's because the music is not compelling enough the way that it exists currently.
Yes.
So, something we also said in a previous episode is it really doesn't matter too much what genre or subgenre of music you are. If you're writing compelling, or if you're using compelling songwriting, people are going to gravitate towards your music. Doesn't really matter what its subgenre, what instruments or anything.
If it's good, it's good.
Yeah. So I get that people want to explore being different. And I respect that and I admire it and I'm excited for it. But there's certain fundamental building blocks where if you're ignoring them, you're not writing music that is going to compel people. So, take whatever approach you need to or wish to. But don't forget hooks, man.
Don't forget your hooks. And trust me, there are plenty of examples out there. There's a world of music you probably haven't even discovered yet. And you should just go out, explore, go as far as you possibly can, and go get some new, fresh tunes in your head that will help you and inspire you so that you can develop some of your own hooks.
Yeah.
And send them to us. Let's open up a discussion.
No. I have a feeling we'll visit this topic again not too far down the line.
No, definitely.
But in the meantime, what are we going to talk about next, Nate?
I think we need to get into off the songwriting topic. And
No. This is a 4-part series.
Is this a 4? Damn it.
Dude, the next one is your area of...
No.
Lyrics,
I'm leaving. Bye.
Lyrics. All right, guys, next week we are going to talk about lyric writing.
I don't want to do this anymore. Bye. I'm not doing... Guys,
right,
I have to do lyrics?
Well, between the two of us, Nathan is the lyric man. He's got a lot more experience than I do. But we'll be talking about that next week. We'll see you then.
Guys, thanks for listening. I've been NAT. This is Patty McD. Yeah, we're going to talk about lyrics next week. So what? Bye. Coffee time.
Bye.
Thank you so much for listening to us ramble on about all things music and sound here on SoundVaaibs, produced with the generous assistance of Blended Podcasts, brought to you by Blended Audio.